As we prepare the babies to go back to school, we definitely want them to think about the importance of literacy. And when we speak about literacy, we want to make sure that we are encompassing reading and writing, not just reading, but reading comprehension, oral and written expression. So this month, we are focusing on our authors, our literary creatives, and their contributions to their respective communities. I absolutely love when I get an opportunity to sit down and talk with people whom I've known for quite a while. It's one thing to meet somebody on social media, but when you've met an individual in person and had an opportunity to break bread and actually work with them, it's just so fun to see their evolution. Terrie Branch is amazing. Now,
Oh,
I
thank
met
you.
Terrie as a bomb short hairdresser, but today she is in the esteemed capacity of author
Oh,
Terrie Branch.
yes, I love it. I
And
love
I
it.
love me some you, girlfriend. So
Oh, thank you.
introduce yourself to everybody and let's just dive right in.
I can hear you say that one more time, honey.
Oh, introduce yourself to everybody
Okay.
and let's just
Well,
dive right in.
okay. Well, I am Arthur Terry Branch. I'm also a serial entrepreneur here in Hampton Roads, Virginia. I have been an author now since about 2013. I have authored at least 12 books, including co-authored books. I have my own publishing company now, as which is one of my businesses, and I just love this. Every time I am involved in something for the literary field, I feel like it's the first time all over again. It just warms my heart. So, yep. So I'm just a mother of two great sons. I have a great set of friends and family members that back me. So, yeah, that's pretty much about me because I could go on and on and on. I got 10 million things that I do. So I don't want to hold the whole time before child.
No, it is fine because one thing we're going to focus in on two things. The first thing is you talked about the number of books that you've written, published books, but how many total books have you written, published and unpublished?
Okay, so I have about 6 books, maybe 7 in queue to come out. I've been so busy. Some of them are children's books. Because I have a series of children's books, and one of them is out Marley's Coat that came out right before the pandemic. And what I did is I wanted to make sure it got the proper viewing and the proper attention because when everything shut down for COVID, it didn't really get we started out with a bang, but we didn't get to really promote it and do the things that I wanted to do for it. So before putting the next books out, I really wanted to make sure this book got the attention that it deserved and that people knew about it and everything. So starting back up now that things are opening up a little bit, I wanted to make sure that this book was in the front. And we were talking about it, doing tour dates for it and all of that stuff. Yeah.
Oh, amazing. So we know that you're an author, and we're definitely going to talk about that. But you started a publishing company.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how do books get published?
Okay. So when we, just to tell you a little bit about how I started that.
Okay.
I would initially start out myself being self-published, a book that went really great. I reached out to Kiki Swenson, who was one of my favorite authors. And, she's a New York Times bestselling author. I'd never talked to the lady, never seen her in person, never. But, I always felt like when somebody becomes celebrity-like type status, I was like, she ain't gonna pay me no mind. I'm gonna reach out anyway. So I reached out and she responded. And she signed me to a deal for a series of books, which was mind-blowing to me. And so after she signed me, my feet hit the ground running. And I just kept going with it and kept going with it. And so then I met my other publisher, which was Shanta Kennery. And that's when I started touring and going different places and meeting all these people and making all these connections. So I decided to create this publishing company with my business partner. So it makes it easier for people like myself that don't know where to start and how to get published. And so what we do is we help them get published, but instead of us getting part of their royalties and things like that, we set it up where they get their own royalties. We just helping them get published. So we're pretty much acting as an agent type of thing for them, but helping them get published. But it's not even that really that hard. It's just knowing which platforms to deal with, knowing that because I hear a lot of people say, I'm just going on Amazon to publish my book. if your book is not insured, a lot of stores won't carry your book. Okay. If your book don't, I'm just giving you a couple of things. If your book don't have the title on the spine, they won't carry your books in their stores. So it's a lot of different things that people don't know. And I learned all these things, some of them by default, by being under a publisher, but also by reading and researching.
Okay.
And I don't know if you know, but I was also featured in Writer's Digest. They had interviewed me for, which is a national publication, Writer's Market. And so to the 2017 version. And I learned a lot of things from reading that book, because it's really great for people that don't know a lot about authoring. They don't know a lot about publishing and things like that. So with the publishing thing, a lot of people think if they just jump on Amazon and do that, but we get people published and use other platforms. But it's a lot about the metadata, knowing what keywords to use to make your book get noticed, knowing what keywords to use to make it pop up in a certain area on Google and places like that. And so we help people with that part. We do it for them and just push them out there and let them go. And we're there for them if they need us, but we don't want them to have to depend on us for getting their monies and stuff. So we teach them how to build their own, we build their platform for them. We teach them how to operate it on the back end themselves and just come to us, because we deal with a lot of physicians. We deal with a lot of traditional everyday people too.
Okay.
We got people in Africa. We got people in Atlanta. We got people in Nashville, doctors and lawyers. We got a here that we did, and they just don't have the time to publish a book or to figure out how to do it.
So that's you.
Yeah, so that's why we came up with a publishing company, because I love giving, because I'm on the executive committee for Newport News NAACP, the membership chair. So that is part of me giving, and with everything I do, I like giving, even down to hair. I like making that person that have lost their hair feel good about themselves again. I like helping people that want to write that book or don't know how to go about it, don't know where to go. I get a thrill off their smile once it's completed, their smile once we done did it and pushed them out there. So I just love it. I love it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, Terrie, what do you think makes a good story?
Real life lessons, real life things that go on in your life. Because people like drama, for one, being honest. People go by sight or things that they know, see going on with other people. I'm gonna use my children's book, for example. It's not drama, but My Little Dog. All the books that I write are related to something that he does around the house. Something that he does. At one point, he would take his little toys and he wouldn't want to share them with you. Like, he'll try to pull them back. So I use that in the sharing book it's a book called Marley's Coat. And I use that to help influence what I wrote about in that book. He'll go and pull his little toys. I can put them in his little toy chest. He'll pull them back out and lay them all over the house. I call that book Marley's Toy Chest. So each book have a teachable lesson for the children, but all of this stuff comes from them, things that he's done around the house, things that has went on, and even in real life, if somebody tells me something. But I also have a very vivid imagination. So in my adult books, I might take something that's true and kind of shape it a little bit to make it amazing, because people like drama. Because in Damaged Goods is an anthology. Me, Sean Sinclair, quite a few other authors I had come on that with me. I produced this book and I asked them to write on it with me, and they all blew it out the water. And that book, in the beginning of my story in that book, it's about something that happened with me and my ex-husband. Of course, I'm not going to tell him that, because I don't want it. But I use that instance, that this thing that happened with me, physical, it was abuse. And I used that to help develop that storyline. But I kind of adjusted certain things and changed some things and added some things. Some things didn't really happen, but then some things that did, just to come up with that story.
Got you. I got you. Do you see writing as a kind of spiritual or therapeutic practice?
Yes, it is. It is, because it takes me out of my own world and places me into this fictitious world where I'm excited to make my reader want more. Yes. I'm excited to put it out there. So it takes me out of my own regular world. And I got a lot going on, with business.
Understood.
It kind of makes me, it's very therapeutic. It's very therapeutic.
Okay.
That's what I have in my bio, because it is a therapeutic process.
Yeah.
I just love, because I used to be an avid reader. Now that I write, I barely want to read a menu in the store. I promise you, I don't want
to. Listen, I can understand that.
because
can understand it.
you're constantly going back and you got to keep going back and reading that story again, adjusting things after the editing, all of that. You got to keep reading. So you're reading 60 to 80,000 word books over and over and over and over again. So because if you want it right, it takes a lot of patience and it takes a lot of work, you know.
Indeed, indeed. Wow. So Terrie, for the question of the hour, what do you think is the best way to improve one's writing skills?
Reading and getting being open to learning new things, connecting with people in the industry that are that has seniority, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Letting them guide you, because I always felt like you need a mentor in anything that you do.
Yes.
And having a mentor that has been in this field that you can look up to and they can tell you things are right or wrong can help you. But some people aren't open to learning new things. They just want it the way they want it. And anything they do, they just want it the way they want it. But I'm so open to learning new things and reading, like when I was telling you about the publication, the national publication that I'm featured in, by Writer's Digest, Writer's Market. That publication talks to you. It tells you different things to do, how to connect with book clubs. Because book clubs fly me out and pay for me to come sit with them now. And it's so amazing to say, I'm a little girl from Hampton Roads, Virginia, didn't think about writing, and it just came. And now people are paying for me to come out and sit with them and read. I mean, they read my books and they buy more books and talk to me about my books. And some of them just like so blown away by the characters and stuff. But yeah, being open and to learning more and reaching out and trying to develop a relationship with an author that's been out for a while, that has that seniority, that knows about the industry.
Yes. Wow.
Yeah, so I love it. Every time I meet somebody, say they're a fan, or if I'm out and somebody buys my book and I see them a year later and they say, "Oh, it was so good." Speaking of that, I just got a text from one of my cousins. She just wrote a movie script, right? Okay. And so we're sending that over to Sean Sinclair. But she read my book and she just texted me. We were having brunch, me and some of my friends, and she texted me and says, "Cousin, you said this book was good." As I'm reading, she said, "But this book is good." She said, "This needs to be a movie." So to me, for her, she never read one of my books. And that was the one called Death by Chocolate. That was my latest one before the pandemic. And now I'm doing the same thing I'm doing with Marley's books by promoting that heavily now because of the pandemic kind of slowing down. But yeah, it was just mind blowing to hear her say that, to say this book is good.
Wow. So Terrie, as we prepare to close out, I want you to let everybody know, first and foremost, where they can find you on social media.
Okay. Well, on social media, I got 10,000 pages, but I'm only giving you guys a few because I got so many businesses. My publishing company is B like boy and the word spelled out and B like boy again, publishing. And that's on Instagram. It's Branch and Brooks Publishing and Consulting Solutions on Facebook. My page for writing on as far as Marley is the Marley Book Collection on Instagram and Facebook, and it has underscores on Instagram between each word. My Instagram for my adult books is Author spelled out underscore Terrie TERRIE _L _branch. Most people misspell my first name, so you guys make sure that you put an E on the end of my name. Is TERRIE, because you just put the I, it won't pop up. So on Facebook it's Authoress. Author with ESS on the end, Terrie L. Branch. Yep. That's it.
So Terrie, it's amazing to have you. Your energy is spectacular. And we know that in your instance, we're not going to say favor ain't fair, because the reality is favor is fair, and it is where it is supposed to be. Yes. So Terrie, thank you so very much.
Thank you for having me.